Welcome to a very special edition of Make We Talk. This evening we're going to speak about the rejection from the government of the ticket amnesty asked for by the bus and taxi operators of Jamaica. Is the government being hard-headed? Or are we on the eve of a major anarchy in our country? The taxi men and women are asking if you can give a gun amnesty. Why is it that you can't give an amnesty for the bus and taxi operators in our country? This evening, I have with me a member of the One Voice group, Reverend Finnegan, an outspoken Jamaican, a man who stands up for the rights of Jamaicans. Good evening, Mr. Finnegan. Reverend Finnegan, good evening to you.
Pleasant afternoon to you, sir, Jeffrey Tavares. And a pleasant...
Welcome to a special edition of Make We Talk. We have to stand up for the bus and taxi operators in our country. And I'm saying to you this evening, I am with you all 100 trillion%. Because it cannot continue. Nelson Mandela started in South Africa to get rid of the apartheid regime, and they sentenced him for 27 years in prison. But the time has come for Jamaicans to stand up. And if it takes the One Voice group to lead that charge, then let it continue. Today, the bus and taxi men, enough. Give me some report of what happened today, Mr. Finnegan.
All right, I have been up and about this morning from 3 a.m. Start to take reports because most of our members that have subscribed to the One Voice Transportation Group spend the night having discussion on our platform and recruiting and adding other members. We get out on the road at 4 a.m. I was able to come into Kingston quite easily because I was getting some report of roadblocks within the Stony Hill Temple Hall area.
Yes, sir.
But by the time I met with the protesters in Another Bay St. Mary, I then drove into Kingston and coming through Stony Hill, that's where I saw the first sign of the withdrawal of protest. There was no bus, no taxis, not even bus and taxi parking up, not working. There were none on the stand. But there was a very, very large number of commuters that were waiting to be transported into Kingston. Even in Golden Spring, there was another built up. Traveling all the way into Halfway Tree was congested with commuters, but no public transportation to include taxis and bus. Apparently, the persons who withdraw their service would have parked their cars and buses maybe at home or somewhere else and then walk to the Halfway Tree location. We had a couple of meetings with our team, thinking of the best way to go forward throughout the day. And then the team split up and we start to rove around the KMTR. And I must say to you, Mr. Tavares, and to the wider listenership, even the team that was with me, that some of them have been through 4 transportation demonstrations before in Jamaica, had said to me that this is the best one they have ever seen. And they describe it to be best in the sense that the numbers that were participating, the civilized way in which it was done, the order in which those who brought out their vehicles were parked. When you come around the parade, the vehicles were parked so neatly, and instead of 30 or 40 of them gather in one place, they would have split up in groups of 15 to make it much less. So no single area around the parade would look crowded. It was something that was unusual. When you look at when we came up back on the Mountain View era, the same thing we found out, peaceful, civilized gathering. Halfway tree, we have 4 separate gathering within the halfway tree town center. There
Yes,
was
sir.
no noise, no level of unrest. People were just having a drink here, a drink there, and on one of the side, they were playing music and enjoying themselves. We went to Papi. It was just the same. And then in the evening, we went over to Portmore and we spent some time with that group over there, very large group, and we left them in the night. And again with the Portmore group, they were just desirous of having their license free up in a way that they could feel comfortable working in their country. The consensus rather, from all the persons in the KMTR, those in St. Mary, those in Clarendon that we have spoken to. And I mentioned these eras because these eras were the era that we have physical withdrawal of persons gathering within town centers. In other parishes, we have few people withdrawing, but they would either stay home or go on the outskirts of the town and park their vehicle. There was nothing much visible in the other parishes. So, but all are saying the same thing. All we are asking the government for is an opportunity to pay to the government what we owe them. Now, the government is paying the gunmen with taxpayers' money to bring in illegal gun. And Mr. Jeffrey, there is a common thing happening in this country. Every time the police find a gun or take a gun off someone, you get a report that 5, 7, or 10 murders are cleared up because that one gun has been featured in all of these murders. And the fact that they find the gun and the person that they find the gun is either dead or now in custody, that automatically clear up 5, 6, 7, up to 10 murders. Now we are saying we have committed no criminal offense. We want to pay, but we just can't pay one time. Give us a payment plan through Amnesty. And the government goes to cabinet today and come out back with a statement at 5 p.m. to say they are not giving into our request to
In
pay
other
them
words,
what
in
we
other
owe
words,
them.
Mr. Finnegan, that they are not bowing to no dibby bus and taxi operators. And they
That's
fail to understand that if the bus and taxi operators do not work, the country shut down.
it is going to shut down because
Tonight, come for me, you know, shut it down, lock, stock, and barrel.
and the question I'm asking, who are the person advising the Prime Minister? Because common sense tell you this is the sector that move the wheels of the economy. This is
They
the
don't.
sector that carry the human resources 7 days per week to and from work.
Before you go any further, because I need some more words from you. Hold a minute. If anyone want to call into the program right now, let us interact. Let us talk. What can we do? What can be done right now going forward? The way forward for the transport sector in Jamaica. 876-782-8235. WhatsApp call only. That's 876-782-8235. WhatsApp call only. We're speaking to Mr. Finnegan, an executive director of the One Voice Group. I've never seen such mobilization in this long while in this country. The first I've seen it was in the 1990s gas riot. When the University of the West Indies decides to listen to me, they want to talk to then Prime Minister PJ Patterson about gas, and he refused to speak to them. And I've never seen this country, the 14 parishes, lit up in flame one time. Before we go back to Mr. Finnegan, I want to play this clip in here.
Refuse to give the amnesty, but yet still not give gun amnesty. Oh, that's right. are the wickedest thing that ever seen on earth. See, we need amnesty. We're willing to pay. As I said before, see here, $200,000 worth of ticket. Look for the ticket. 1 second and car this can buy. The last amnesty and this will pay. Right? No reason. Watch this. $15,000 ticket. You never amended the election because we still pay. So in other words, who know who we money? Half of them tickets, the price was wrong for the price. It never amended, so it's illegal. It's an illegal ticket, and we still pay it. No, we're requesting an amnesty. I prefer to put one over to lock us up. Hard-working people. It is not fair, Mr. Prime Minister. Look into this. I am begging you, look into this. Mr. Prime Minister, we need amnesty.
Tax office is taking up too much of our time. We need outlet for the road.
That's right.
Outlet where we can push in the yard and push in the money to the outlet.
The whole ticket system wasn't set up properly. I said we made that.
Mr. Finnegan.
Yes, sir.
Those are the voices of the bus and taxi operators in this country. I saw a video, and I'm trying to find the video, where a young man showed a whole barrage. It looked like it's a king-size mattress sheet of tickets that he has paid. And you're saying to me, the government of this country don't have the heart to say, okay, we're going to give them amnesty?
So Jeffrey, there is a prominent businessman in Jamaica, very, very prominent, very elderly man also. He is in the public transportation business for many, many years. He got a ticket in July of this year, which he paid. In September, he was in the vicinity of the Ellison Road police station. And he said to me that a man just tell him to go and check on his license. And when they run his license, the ticket he paid in July was on the system. Now, the system is saying that he has an outstanding ticket. Now, luckily, he's one of the Jamaicans that put up receipt. So he could go home, pick up his receipt, and take it to his lawyer. Now, he's going to be fortunate in the sense that, one, he has the receipt, and two, he has the resources to employ a lawyer. Now, some of our members tell us that the minimum you will have to go to the lawyer with to contest a $2,500 ticket that you think was unwarranted is $15,000. And that is what takes the lawyer to court for the first time. And if the case is put off, you're going to have to pay money on each occasion that you go. So our members are saying it is easier to pay the $2,500 rather than have to pay a lawyer to defend it and have it thrown out. And I'm saying to them that once the lawyer win the case, then you now have your right to sue the government.
Exactly.
So we are having tickets that were paid before the last amnesty, after the last amnesty, that is still at Ellison Road as outstanding ticket. And because our drivers, and it's a common thing in Jamaica, that when you have receipt, once you pay for the goods and get the receipt, you just crush it up and throw it away. It's not like in our days, our parents' days, where they will put on all important documents until they stay there and grow jundra and rotten out. So when these operators would go.
You want to speak, sir? One moment. You have to turn off the radio in the background, please, sir. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 16 here. I talk based on what all that's going on and me I'm in the streets. and the injustice and the government right now, look at them, they even care.
Are you a taxi operator, sir?
Yeah, sure. 16 representing.
Okay.
I'm from Papi inside.
Okay. So today you decided you would take to this to pull off your service because of what?
I'm seeing where the government don't regard the transport sector and the excess amount of tickets and the injustice served a few years ago where we had tickets that were illegally issued and paid for by a taxi operator that we didn't get reimbursed when the government when somebody went to court and highlighted. And the government know that they owe the public, not only the taxi operators, got tickets that were given to them lawfully because it was ticket that was not in the books. So today we decided.
So did you get ticket also?
Sure, I paid $15,000 ticket where them take away for 18. While I recommend them, I charge some unanimous figures. 18,500 to move from point A to point B. So everywhere we get liquor out there. We get ash treatment. But we are important, just like the police and the soldier, because without that's our work, I carry everybody. And people entrusted with them picking for care from point A to point B when them their work. And look on who here the government is treating the people of Jamaica.
So tell me something now, caller. What is your plan? What are your plans for tomorrow? Because you have a hard working member of the One Voice group, Reverend Finnegan, you know. I have never in my entire life seen a mobilization like this before. The only time I've seen it is in the 1990s gas riot, when Jamaicans decided enough of the damn nonsense in government. So what is the plan for tomorrow? Because the Prime Minister and the Minister of Transport say him not good on amnesty.
Yeah, but him can't give gunman amnesty though. But one thing what I said to him out there for my listening radio, you know, they will not stop, you know, until we get the justice we need. Yes, because if you can give criminals opportunity to carry in guns when them turn around and pay the criminals them when we pay a traffic ticket to help pay them. And we don't pay tax with all the road. Police all come out to transport the authorities and the man we work at the fitness place, a craft your plate when we have a proper road. I'm see an article come out the other day say they need to fix the road and they need to raise the license fee. So everything are going in traffic. If 60 police graduate on the force, you know, say by them graduate, probably 55 of them gone in a traffic. So who are fight crime? The police them who are fight crime must have under pressure. Them not have no help. Because by 7 o'clock from 6 o'clock till probably 7 o'clock in the latest, all of them traffic police they gone home, you know.
Boy.
So we need more crime fighter. We can't just fight them. A poor Jamaica run tax. A poor Jamaican have help them family, you know, have kids, you know. We feed, you know.
We are facing a crisis in this country. I have with me, joining me right now, a good friend of mine, Chipper Mento, a Jamaican. We call him Chipper. Mr. Finnegan, don't go anywhere, sir.
I'm here.
Caller, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself, man, and thanks for the good work you put out there and the meaning when I'm here so far. I'm here in the group, so I respect that. Because we don't have nobody right now I represent the poor. Come like those classism, upper class alone, and the poor people them can't eat in this country. And some of them need to wake up. Wake up, Jamaica.
Thank you very much, caller. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Gov't YouTube channel.
Right. Big up the One Voice crew, 16B, I check in, yeah, man.
All right, my friend.
So Jeffrey,
you know, Reverend Finnegan.
Yes.
I enjoy doing this. You know why I enjoy doing this? My name may be a Tavares, but I cannot and will not stand by and see injustice done to my people. I know what it's like to go to my bed hungry. Hold on a minute, another call coming in. Good night, caller. Welcome to Make We Talk.
Good night, my God.
Good night, sir.
Yes, man. He's one of the members from the One Voice family.
Yes, sir.
Woodland.
I remember you,
Yeah,
Woodland. How you doing?
yeah.
Welcome to my program.
Yeah, good night, sir. Yeah, I make a speech earlier on, and I don't want you to feel like
No, no.
I'm disrespecting you.
Hold on.
Attacking you.
Hold on for me. Hold on for me. You and I speak about that off air. We're live on a radio program now where I want you to tell me what is your plan for tomorrow. Because I know you misunderstood what I was saying. So let us not talk about that now. Let us talk about what is your plan for tomorrow. What you plan to do?
My plan is stick to what happened today. No work. Withdraw my service same way. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Until the government plan to give a better, we will work. We need to pay up these outstanding tickets and get the police off our back and stop the brutalizing of our taxi driver. Without our service, people cannot go to work. People cannot go to school. Gas cannot sell. Government lose 3.8 million for the day. So check that each day a taxi man decide to go out and work.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So those are some of the things we are facing out here, and we need to address them properly.
All right, caller. Thank you very much for calling in.
All right, my God. Have a good night.
You're welcome,
the
sir.
rest of members them are listening and planning to withdraw their service also.
Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you. I have with me now former FBI agent Wilfred Rattigan, and he hails from the community of Waterhouse. I have with me Executive Director of the One Voice Group, a good friend of mine, Chipper Mento. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks again, sir.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
Ratty, you sound like a sick man, but thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I mash up, man, but it go, I have to come on and get strength,
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Chipper, I'm not hearing you. What happened to you, Mike? I'm not hearing you at all, Chipper.
You're not hearing me now, Jeffrey?
I'm hearing you loud and clear now, all the way from Texas. Texas. Chipper, you hear what's going on in our country?
Yes, and I saw what's going on in Maypen, and I had to make friends of mine.
Make your voice up more. I can hardly hear you.
I had to reach out to fellow for what was the plans.
Yes.
And the plan service tomorrow and days ahead until they have come to a better country.
Right. So like we have Wilfred Rattigan and Mr. Reverend Finnegan, because Reverend Finnegan is a person who I think everybody's looking up to right now. Because, in a sense, Reverend Finnegan, in the top of your head, sir. We want to see your face. Yes, there you go, man. Reverend Finnegan, give us some more. What is the way going forward? Because you said you want to comment on an utterance given out of the Prime Minister's office. After you did that now, I'm going to ask Wilfred Rattigan to comment on it. Go ahead.
All right, we got a press release today coming from the office of the Prime Minister. A section of the press release commending the lawful taxi operators and owners that allow their vehicles to work in carrying the commuters. But then the press release went on to condemn the lawless taxi operators who withdrew their service and was causing, my word, anarchy within the country. Now, my position with that press release is, how can the government of Jamaica refer to its citizens, the set of citizens that moves the wheel of the economy, in terms of carrying their human resources to and from work refer to them as lawless when they were have only so far withdraw their service in a peaceful protest. None of the location that I visited today, I saw any blocking of road, any burning of tires, any cutting of trees. I have not seen anyone with placard going out in the road, obstructing people from going about their business. They park their cars in some very proper places, those who drive, and then they congregate off the road, not blocking even business places, having the drink and talking, and in one cases, we're playing music. But the release from the office of the Prime Minister said they were lawless. Now, my position with that is the same government of Jamaica is using the taxpayers' money to be buying back guns from criminals. Now, in my word, that is technically saying that the government of Jamaica is in gun running, because the police have a way of telling us that when they find a gun, we get a press release from the police hierarchy that 5, 6, 7, and sometimes up to 10 murders are solved just by finding the gun. No evidence other than that come up. We just hear that 5 murders are solved. But this very same gun is being promoted by the government of Jamaica in daily advertisement, in the printed and electronic media. Bring them in. We will pay you up to $500,000 for one of them. Now, my position on that is the government of Jamaica, through its agency, the Jamaica Constable Force and the JDF, through the agent, the police and the soldiers, are empowered by law to go and find the guns and find the criminals, find the perpetrators. Now, how can the government now be using taxpayers' money to be paying the criminals? And it doesn't matter how much people they kill, rob, maim, injured. By just bringing in the gun and collect your money are free. And the hard-working operators and investors, because a lot of these drivers, members of the panel, are owners of the cars. They use the redundancy money. They borrow money from various lending agency. Family from overseas send them money and buy a car. Whatever means they get it. They are investors. And they are saying to the government, help us to redeem ourselves by giving us an opportunity to pay you what we owe you. And the government went to cabinet today and released a statement by saying that they're not honoring our request. Now, these same drivers are the same people that the very same government of Jamaica use every 3 years in local government election and every 5 years in general election to be moving their supporters. If the election campaign is for 2 months, it's 2 months of motorcade and spot meeting and constituency meeting and all type of meeting. And these very same
and KFC meeting and KFC this and KFC and Zinger.
Yeah. So if the group was saying to me, ask the government to write off what we owe them, I wouldn't be representing them, I wouldn't be on the program with you now. Because the mere fact is that there's no doubt that some of those tickets were really traffic offenses committed by them. So we will in fact pay them. And there are those that have been paid and coming up back on the system. And there are those that have been paid, but they were illegally paid in the sense that illegally issued, sorry. In the sense that between 2005 and 2020, the court ruled that all those tickets that were issued during that time were illegally done. And the government of Jamaica that make a release today that says that the lawless taxmen, the lawless operators, that very same government went to Parliament in the night last year and passed a law to make the illegal tickets become legal. Then that is not lawlessness too.
Wilfred Rattigan, you comment on this for me, Wilfred Rattigan.
Well, again, apologize. I'm a little bit under the weather, but this is government arrogance at its best. It, to some degree, you kind of get the sense that it's a totalitarian government, that they don't show any flexibility. I mean, like the Reverend said, look, some of these tickets were properly issued and they're willing to make those payments, but then there are others that are in dispute. And you would think, for the sake of the commuters, that the government would say, okay, let's sit down and go through these tickets and try and come to a resolution. Instead, they stiffen their spine and say, no, we're not going to deal with them. And like the Reverend rightly pointed out, but they have no problems paying money to gunmen to turn in a rusty weapon so that they can take the money and buy a brand new weapon.
It's all right.
Considering that the government itself told the people of Jamaica that on the average, 200 illegal weapons are coming to Jamaica every month, not every year, every month. So when you hear them do a little press conference and them find, 20 guns, somebody should remind them that you still have, just for this month, you have 180 we'll have to go find again. And that's a conservative estimate. I mean, what it tells me is that the government is being run by people who don't understand the issues, or if they do, they're very unfeeling. They don't sympathize with these poor taxi drivers who they're moving people and they're trying to make a living, and they've come to the table to say, look, whatever tickets were legally issued, we will pay those tickets, and then this is what happened now. I mean, I sympathize with the taxi drivers. I also sympathize with the commuters because they're caught in the middle of this. I mean, they had nothing to do with this, but at the end of the day, that's how these things work. Somebody has to suffer in order for the issue to be resolved. So I don't know what's going to happen, because some of these people, if they don't show up for work, they don't get paid. And so this strategy of saying, well, we're not going to run taxi, because the government must come to the table and resolve this issue. I sympathize with the commuters, but I can't blame the taxi drivers. I can't blame them. And it's just a shame. It's a disgrace, not a shame. It's a disgrace that the government would see it fit at this point in time. We're coming up to the Christmas season, the festive season, and this is what we're faced with. I really, you know what? To some degree, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Chipo, what is your views on what is going on?
The justice system on all hands, and it is fighting its people with an iron fist in people to be able to live freely. It on a level of the transport system, which for many years to be a poorly managed system for many years, be able to find a plan that is feasible enough to allow everyone to find a solution that is fitting. Then it is just injustice fronts. The government is pushing an agenda that is not helping its people they're trying to accomplish, because they have already tax amnesty for businesses, which we already know the Chinese don't even pay half their taxes that they need. And they have already gave gun amnesty, so stopping you from giving amnesty onto the investors invest back into the country that are our natives to help them. It is disgusting.
Reverend Finnegan,
Yes, sir.
I am seeing something here now, Reverend Finnegan. And
Yes.
I want to know if this is true. You. Head ends, bus and taxi strike to continue into the second day, says transport boss. So is it that Egerton Newman is speaking for other group or for other set of people or what?
Well, I want to make it.
This is
Yeah, go ahead.
Observer.
It's in the Observer.
Yes.
All right. I want to make it clear here. Mr. Newman doesn't speak for the One Voice group. Mr. Newman doesn't instruct the One Voice group. And Mr. Newman is not associated with the One Voice group. Neither are we associated with TADS. Give or take instruction from TADS. What is happening here where the One Voice is concerned is a group, the only transportation group, the first, and I strongly believe it will be the last, that is formed by the people, owned by the people, and managed by the people. The groups before were either owned by an individual or owned by a family. This one is formed, owned, and managed by the transportation sector. So what comes out in the Observer, we at the One Voice Transportation Group is distancing ourselves from it. But so Jeffrey, just to touch on
go ahead, sir.
Something that former FBI was speaking on the way the government is treating the request of the transportation sector. Now, two of our utility companies, National Water Commission and Jamaica Public Service, they give payment plan to their customers. The government every now and again is actively promoting, sending mobile transportation across your community, asking you to come to a gas station or a community center or a supermarket, anywhere that the vehicle can park, to collect your taxes. And if you can't pay the taxes, it is full. Tax Administration of Jamaica, through the Parish Council, will give you a payment plan. No, why can't we get one? And I am asking all the people that has been in the sector years ago, what crime the public transportation sector in particularly, and the transportation sector in general, because the amnesty would benefit the entire country. What crime have we committed against the government of Jamaica that the government can't set a payment plan for us to pay them? And some people in the media is spreading it across as if we are asking the government to write off what we owe. And I want to make it clear what we have been saying from day one. We want pay, but give we a plan. Now, when this group called me, you see, members of the panel, I said to them that if we're going into any form of protest, it don't have to go my way, but I'm making my suggestion. Withdraw your service. Stay home, find an empty lot, find a parking space, park your vehicle, stand on the side of the road with your placard. They all agreed to it. And hence that we put it in full gear, because I am not going to be supporting any form of illegal activity in any demonstration, in any protest, in any withdrawal of service. And everybody in this sector that I speak to is saying the same thing. Mr. Finnegan, we have never seen anything like this. I said to the members of the One Voice group, the government of Jamaica, the citizens on a whole have us as donks, the scums of the earth, the less. And I'm going to ask you all to go there Monday morning and prove them wrong that you are educated, you are highly respected, and that you are a civilized set of people and citizens. And we see it in them throughout the day today. There's an incident where this guy had a piece of stick in his hand and running out some people out of the vehicle. And I don't know if you hear it, Sir Jeffrey.
I saw the video.
And if you listen carefully, he was repeatedly mentioning one voice. So we asked our coordinators, managers, zone supervisors, and zone coordinators. Find out exactly who he is and what happening. He was paid to go there and do that and keep on calling the one voice name to give the media the impression that he was doing that on behalf of us. I have sent out a press release in regards to it. So I don't know if it have hit the media houses as yet. But the point is, if we want to pay members of the panel, what crime the transportation sector committee that the government would rather lock up its citizens, very same citizens that transport them every 5 years into winning an election, but is willing to lock them up rather than to collect their money. It is still puzzling to me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I have a question fast, Jeffrey.
Go ahead.
The question I have to ask is, it's not a strike, it's just a withdrawal of service. And there's no law that says you must provide service. The taxi operators, not that I'm aware of. If there is such a law, then I stand fully corrected and somebody should point that out to me. But going forward, I'm trying to, in my mind, imagine what this is going to look like 2, 3, 4, 5 days from now. If this is a 3-day withdrawal of service, what will happen? Today is what? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What will happen come Friday? I mean, the government can't arrest them. I mean, it would be ludicrous. They can't arrest somebody for not providing that service, and it's not a government entity. So, and they can't go to the court and have a judge force the taxi drivers to provide the service. All that taxi drivers have to say, I don't feel like working, and that's the end of that. But what will this look like if the government doesn't come to the table by close of business Thursday? What will the Reverend and the other panelists, what's going to happen?
Well,
let me take that question first. One other thing I'm absolutely sure of, the members that I represent have no intention whatsoever of withdrawing their withdrawal protests until we hear from the government. So even if Wednesday come and we don't hear, it is going to continue.
Okay.
What it is likely to look like, I am expecting that by tomorrow evening, the private sector of Jamaica should be calling on the government, because the private sector of Jamaica, I don't see them as this sector now that is going to be sitting back and watch their investment not producing. And the institution, the agency or the company that we are told that the government of Jamaica collect the most tax from and the easiest taxes to be collected is the Petroleum Company of Jamaica. And one of our taximen that they say are dunks and illiterate sat in his car without a calculator, without using the calculator on his phone. In fact, when we spoke, we were on the phone and he was driving. And he said to me, Mr. Finnegan, the average car uses $7,000 gas per day, just in the KMTR. We're not talking about bus. And we are told that there are 6,000 acne carriage within the KMTR. and he's using an average because some of the Probox use $5,000 gas per day, and the 7-seaters would use 7,000. So it's averaging it. And within 5 minutes, he worked it out that the gas station in the KMTR would be losing anywhere between $350 million per day to $450 million.
Wow.
Now, the government of Jamaica, under the leadership of the Honorable Andrew Holiness, my word now, I don't have the evidence to back it up, is taking advice from all those cabinet ministers and MPs that born in the colonial days and advising an honorable prime minister that born after independence to be keeping the old oppressive type of behavior and the citizen of this country. And they are going to sit and see the Petroleum Company of Jamaica through the various gas stations in the KMTR losing in the region of $450 to $500 million per day, instead of allowing its very own citizen to pay them over a period of time. And we are asking for 6 months.
Mr. Finnegan, I don't know if they're advising the Prime Minister wrongly. You know? Maybe they advise the Prime Minister to give the amnesty and he decides, hell no. This is my words. Members of the public, if you want to call in, you can call 876-782-8235. That's 876-782-8235. Let us send a clear and decisive message to the government and the opposition of this country that if the transport sector, you hear what Reverend Finnegan said a while ago, that the gas stations in the Kingston and St. Andrew area will be losing how much $1 million again, Sir Finnegan?
Anywhere between $350 million to $450 million. And the buses are not included in this, just the taxes.
You see it though? So I want to know, and this thing, you know, it's spread like wildfire all over the globe, you know. Members of the diaspora is very upset over this, you know. Because I have been getting called pertaining to it. So what is going on? We cannot continue like this as a nation.
It cannot continue. And then
people of this country. Go ahead, Mr. Finnegan.
And then what is being put out there is that the operators are lawless, they are indisciplined, and they are causing mayhem on the road. Now, if we're talking about indiscipline and lawlessness, it is indiscipline and lawlessness is right there in our government. It is right there in our security force. It is right there in the JDF, in every sector of the country. We have it. Why placing it and stigmatizing the public transportation sector? Because in our organization, member of the panel, we have made a decision, you know, that if the amnesty is granted, we have already have 2 plans in place. If the amnesty is granted 12 o'clock tomorrow, we have a plan in place to start like 5 minutes after 12. That once our members subscribe to it, on every day, Monday to Saturday, we can pull from a fund enough money to give 50 drivers to go and pay on the ticket. Okay. And the third plan that we have, it is in negotiation as we speak, to ask some investors to pull some money together where these outstanding ticket drivers can get some money to borrow to help to clear off their thing. In other words, the one voice.
Sorry, before you're going further, sorry, are you hearing me?
Yes, clearly.
We have a call online. Good night, caller. Welcome to Make We Talk.
Yes. Good night, panel. Mr. Finnegan, have a wonderful night. Caller from the Russian from the One Voice group, Mr. Jeffrey. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
On behalf of the bus operators, because I am an operator from Toronto to Ochiris.
And I have therefore met in more than occasions with officers, one specifically in Anata Bay where I had a load of 18 persons in the bus. Yes, I agree that I've exceeded the amount that the bus is to carry. But on the other hand, the cost of fuel is going up. And on that particular day, the officer stopped me. I came out. Yes, I was wearing my seatbelt. Everything was straight. I was in my uniform. Everything. So he asked me to count the bus. I count and I told him, officer, 18 persons. May I to make 20, and that's what we have. And he said, so why are the bus, man? And Mr. Officer, you know, so honestly, gas price gone up and the rough. Sometimes we can't get the rough to go to and from the location because it is not to us. It's not bearable because we get $7,500 ticket from an officer one morning.
How much you get, sir?
$7,500 worth of ticket one morning.
So what kind of bus you need to drive? One mule and cat?
No, you know. The high top, the third highest, the high top. The wide body.
Go ahead.
And while I had passengers, the officer emptied the bus. He gave me $7,500 ticket at the same time. And in the evening coming up, they had a border clash, as we call it, where multiple different stations and areas come together and they search out and see what they can find. No, they stopped me. I having 8 persons in the bus. I had my spare tire on because I bought a tire, but it seemed like the tire had been dry rotted from the time the person have it sitting. So I put on my spare tire because there was a crack in the sidewall of the new tire. So I put on my spare coming up. And I showed the examiner. And they dug up my plate for it. And bear in mind I was wearing a spare tire. I showed him my new, I had on 3 new tire and my spare tire. And I showed them, and he still dug up my plate. It cost me over $45,000 just to get back my plate and all of that. And when it comes to the system, all of this expense we have to pay is $7,500 worth ticket plus another ticket fee for our next tire, which is now $3,500. And now when I look at that for one day, it make no one work tomorrow.
So what is your plans for tomorrow, sir?
Me?
Yes.
I can cock up my foot on my tongue tomorrow, sit on a stool, and have a buckle of rum or something with me.
Thanks for calling in, sir.
So I would advise him to give us some time. The person in one voice group, we're requesting, like, if it's 3 months to 6 months, let us get some time where we can put someone together and pay for our tickets we have outstanding so that we can move on to our first start in the new year coming. That's all we're requesting.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in, sir. Thank you for your call. Member of the transportation sector. Wilfred Rattigan, you saying something?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Good job.
This just goes to show the lack of leadership, you know, because something as significant as this, you'd think that the prime minister would be out front and center to address the issue. But this prime minister has been locked up in his cave for several months now. We didn't hear from him when the teachers left and go to America and Canada and the UK. We didn't hear from him when the nurses left, nurses and doctors, when they took off and whatnot. We didn't hear from him when the crime rate began spiraling out of control. We didn't hear from him when the poll was done where approximately 93% of the people polled, so they have no confidence in the Minister of National Security and his subordinate, the police commissioner. And we don't hear from him regarding this, right? We don't hear from him when the Auditor General came out with a report showing that the Minister of Health, like that monies were apparent, contracts were issued not following procedure, money is missing, all of that stuff. We don't hear from him. You know, we don't hear from this Prime Minister at all. And this is where we need leadership. We need him to come out and say, look, okay, I'm in charge. The buck stops with me. I'm going to come to meet with these guys, or you appoint as a subordinate. But at this point, I would say he should take the lead and say, listen, let's talk and let's figure a way out of this situation, because now it's affecting a significant portion of the population, and by extension, it's affecting business, right? And people's livelihood. But we haven't heard from him. I'm wondering sometimes if we still have a prime minister.
I don't think we have one, you know, because they love to go to jerk fest, you know. Anyway, that's a different story. Good night, caller. Welcome to Make We Talk. Hello, good night, caller. Yes, good night, caller. Go ahead. Hello, caller. We're not hearing you. Hello, good night. You're breaking up, caller. Hello, can you hang up and call back, caller, because your connection is not good.
All right.
Okay. Chipper, you are in Texas.
Yes,
and you
yes.
hear what is going on in the land of wood and no water, the land of wood and water. And we have a prime minister who is missing in action. As bad as things may be, that mama loves to go on and kiss. Portia Simpson Miller would have met with the bus and taxi operators. But the bus and taxi operators can't meet with this prime minister. And you want to listen to me of him business? Because what happened? They're from the lower class of society. And he's from the But I want him to know, is the bus and taxi drivers put him there? Local government election coming up, bus and taxi drivers must know what to do. Go ahead, Chipper.
Yes, it is disrespectful that it is on for them that you choose. Well, anything new of the government of Jamaica, because they have always been doing this. They need us, they use us, and basically they give us a small dosage here, you know, to make us feel like we are important to them. They're no longer in need of our service. They throw us to the side, whether it is with cleaning the road, or it's taxi operators, or it's with dancehall, going against dancehall music one moment, then they are big friends with the artists when it's election time, so they're hot dubs to clash their election music. And so it is disrespectful of the government to treat its country like this and make us to believe that he's the Queen of England, where he can sit on his royal throne in his palace and drink his tea and not answer the people of Jamaica. It's very disrespectful. We need to hear from the Prime Minister immediately. We need to hear his response and how he operates in responding to the needs of his country. That is why you're there. You're there to represent us and speak on our needs. So we need a response from the Prime Minister of that response. Yes, the people need to press the Prime Minister. Give him a time frame, not for a response. He needs to respond.
Thank you very much, Chipper. We're here speaking about the rejection from the government for a ticket amnesty for the bus and taxi operators. I want them to know something, you know. You see, the movement by the One Voice group in this country, where they decide to organize themselves properly. I want the government knows that this is a warning to them. This is a warning to them, you know, that there is more left to come. more Jamaicans are going to rise up. And the time has come, Jamaicans, for you to rise up. Too much hanky-panky going on in government. Too much nastiness going on in government. They're treating taxpayers as if we are nothing. They're treating taxpayers' money as if it's their personal kitty. It's a personal piggy bank. The gas tax earns $60-something billion and it's supposed to fix road. And you have a minister who believes that the public money belongs to him, Nigel Clark, who telling the police officers them is a bunch of idiots. Huh? What kind of nonsense that is going on in this country? I don't give a damn who want vex with me and who want come for me, you know. Taxi drivers gonna lock it down, lock, stock, and barrel.
So Jeffrey.
Go ahead, sir.
Every sector in this country, you see, teachers, nurses, doctors, go on naming them. Whenever they're in negotiation with the government ministries for their money and they're not getting it, they demonstrate. And they will go and work to rule or call in sick. Or they come out on the street with their placard to get their money. And the government will meet with them sometime during their protest. And where there's a few cases where a couple of sectors have to take the government to court to get their money. The public transportation sector have to withdraw service to beg the government to give us a window of opportunity to pay them. We are not demonstrating for the government to write off our slate, you know, write off our debt, or to give us some money. We have to withdraw our service to ask the government, give us a time to pay you. The other people withdraw their service to get money from the government. And we are giving the government money, just that we don't have it one time. And the government send out a statement today after cabinet that they're not looking at our request. They're not honoring it.
Mr. Finnegan, the exact word to the taxi and bus operators who the wholeness administration don't respect. We will not bow to any DBDB. I mean, I put in the DBDB part. To any bus and taxi operators in this country. You must go pay on the fine.
You know,
that's
Jeffrey.
why people are telling the bus and taxi operators, you know. Uno are no police and a friend. Bus and taxi operators who working to try and make an honest living. You are no police officers is not friend. You don't have this nastiness just want to say, why I'm basking me a chance to pass. They work for you. They say when the politician, they want, why I'm boss, everything okay, boss. They're not my boss. I am their boss. I pay them. And when you have a prime minister who refuses to address the nation, only when he feels fit to address the nation, because come the 20th of November, in so-called Labour Party conference, you know, address the nation about crime. But he don't see fit to address the nation.
Jeffrey.
Go ahead.
Him cannot address the nation about crime because he does not know the first thing about crime. And I have the documentation to prove it. I've gone over his budget presentation from 2016 till 2022. I've looked at the National Security Plan. I've looked at the consensus on crime. I've looked on the Auditor General's report. I've looked on Plan Secure Jamaica. And I can tell you as I sit here that this Prime Minister, the days of him fooling people about how they're fighting crime, those days are over. Because tomorrow night, I want the whole of Jamaica tune in to Reason with Rattigan on reggaeglobalradio.com, www.reggaeglobalradio.com.
It will be broadcast live on here too. I'm going to get
Yeah.
the link to broadcast live on here.
Because we're going to show the people once and for all how they cloak their failure to deal with the crime issue and give people the impression that they're doing things. And it's to no avail. Now, keep in mind that I've been told, I don't have any other evidence except I was told that this Minister Nigel Clark, he was involved in some union discussion or whatever, and he met with the members of that particular union or entity, and he told them, this is what I was told, he told them that he was elected to rule, right? And that's number one. Number two is, if the government had a deficiency in the reserve, and they said, look, we need this money, we cannot wait for this money over a 6-month period because we have debts that we have to honor. You know, even then I still would say, no, be flexible. But that's not the case, because the minister has expressed to the police that they have the money. And we also know that the IMF, the World Bank, and the Inter-American Development Bank gave Jamaica approximately $750 million to deal with COVID, and nobody knows where the money is. We also know that there was a telethon arranged by Minister Babsy Grange and Minister Kamina Johnson and some other folks, and that money, and I spoke to somebody in the diaspora today who said that they've been asking for an accounting, and today they have not received an accounting for those funds. So the government have money. So there's no real rush for them to get this money. If the taxi operator said, we are willing to go over the tickets with you, and the ones that are legitimate, we will pay them, but we need a 6-month period. There should be nothing. I mean, the government should say, okay, all right, fine, no problem. Let's sit and resolve this issue. But they've taken a hard stance. And because they've taken a hard stance, the taxi operators and the minibus operators and all the other operators, they've responded likewise. And I guarantee you, mark my words, that this will influence other sectors in Jamaica to do likewise. When they cannot, when there is an issue, they'll say, okay, you know what? We're gonna go slow. We're gonna strike. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And Jeffrey, you've been warning. I've listened to you carefully. You've been warning that Jamaica is on the back door of Haiti, and people take that statement very seriously. Take it very seriously, because
bong bong bong.
We're done.
We're knocking on Haiti's back door. Pong, 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 pong. Light a candle, sing a song, find your way back home. Mr. Finnegan, before I make you come on, I want to play a song. I want to play a song. I do not own the rights to this song. Listen to the song.
My island.
As we fight one another.
Okay. Sapluto.
Bad tune, yeah.
The kingdom goes to waste. We the people want to know just where we're going. Right now we hands are tied behind the back, while certain people, if and but in, where do we stand? We have too far to go, not to really know just how we getting there. And if we're getting anywhere, we have too much to change, not to know the range of possibility and changeability. Violence and crime is commonplace in these said times. No man walk free. Prophecy come closer to fulfillment in these dread times. Why should this be? And as we fight one another for the power and the glory, Jah kingdom goes to waste, and every drop of blood we taste, I feel we won this grace, yeah. I feel we won this grace. Can't build no foundation on a if and but. Are we building a nation, or are we building a hut? And every time you ask for some old friend, you hear said just last night, he meet a sad, sad end. And if you talk too loud, and if you walk too proud, watch where you lay your head. For out that dread, well dread, can't build no dreams on a fuss and fight. We don't care who I do it, just say that not right. And as we fight,
Jeff, I got your mic.
I take a call.
Okay.
Night caller, welcome to Make We Talk.
Yeah, man, make we talk. No, make we talk like over there. As I said, I've been listening to your panelists. In fact, I'm a PPV driver owner involved in the strike, you know. But there's something of keen interest that I think we are missing. This is not a PPV operator thing, you know. Because even if you, Mr. Tavares, have 4 outstanding tickets, come December the 1st, you actually, if policeman stop you on a Saturday and run your license and realize you have 4 outstanding tickets, even if you're in court with them presently, then he's going to take you to jail because the court not open on Saturday. You get me? I try to say.
Yes,
so
sir.
It's not only for PPV operators. In my view, I have no evidence to it, but 70% of Jamaican motorists have outstanding ticket. My niece have 4, and it's not like she never want to pay them, but she couldn't get the time for left and go a tax office to go join line the whole day for go pay a ticket. Every day she's asking, why can't she pay the ticket online? I said that system is not in place. So come December the 1st, on a Saturday during that week, a policeman stop her, a look her, and she shug him off. All him name just take her license, run her license, realize that she have 4 outstanding tickets, and a jail she gone. And that is very much unfair. This is a weapon that government is putting in the police hands. As Mr. Finnegan says, we not ask the ticket them to be wiped out. No, we not ask that. Not taxman and than that. We just have to say, give we a chance. Okay, we are in discipline. Nobody can fight that. Yeah, we have a level of discipline on the road. But I know we are alone in discipline. But we are say, okay, good. Give we a chance to redeem ourselves. You give gunman chance to redeem themselves. Why you can't get us? And I tell, and we don't know. People need to recognize that anybody with have outstanding ticket need to realize it's not a book. Once you have an outstanding, even one, and the next thing people don't realize, very important, is this. Let's say I have 6 outstanding tickets and they are all driving without seat belt. If when the police stop you on a Monday, for example, and takes you to the court, the judge say, yo, okay, them 6 tickets come to $20,000. Yeah, you take out the $20,000 and pay. But then the judge is also going to say, each of those driving without seatbelt tickets has a 2-point system. 6 times 2 is 12. This is now revoked for at least 6 months. You right there, so your license gone for 6 months. So run a little education campaign, just like what you do with everybody else. You have a gun amnesty, a gun, and me a road education campaign. I tell gunmen to bring in gun. Run one little campaign. People pay up in a ticket. This is going to happen. No, you just want to drop down the hammer power, so.
And it's the same youth here that Edgerton Newman give award to. And him start this bangarang, you know. And Edgerton Newman give youth here award. Make a call up the thing them tonight, yeah.
To do what? To do what?
To harass the poor pauperizing bus and taxi drivers. Edgerton Newman do it. You want Bex with me tonight? I don't give a damn.
Mr. Here is trying to correlate the accidents on the road to taximan and busman. So what he's trying to say now, the taximan them with the unpaid tickets are the one causing the accident on the road. He used the coaster incident to happen on Constant Spring Road where they sort of amplify his suggestion. But then if you check the fatal accident report, in the top 3, there's no PPV operators. The people who are causing the fatal accident on the road, the first one is motorcycle. The second one is pedestrian. I don't remember who the third one is, but we're not in the top 3. So why are we attacked so fiercely? What make them not come? What make people? Me no know. Hey, yo, me I tell you, say Andrew, me vote for you, Andrew. Me did vote for you, but brother, me I tell you, say, yo, I'm sorry, I know, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, because we can't tell him for a fact. Come December the 1st, I don't have a job. Because I can't sleep. I have outstanding ticket, you know. I have outstanding ticket. I'm willing to go pay. I'm not begging for write them off. I'm not begging for write. I want to go pay them. Even if I go tomorrow.
Hold on there, caller. What me want to find out, you know? What me really want to find out? If they not give the amnesty, I don't know how to go court. What they plan to do? Lock up everybody in the nasty stinking prison when they had down there?
But just, and just imagine the amount of people, you know, brother.
And some of the people have the Vumva van, the Vumva Vina, go down there, you know. Because some have no money like myself, yeah.
Precisely, brother.
So, some of them live at Cherry Garden and they're hungry and dirty girl and they for their dinner.
And I keep and I say again, it's not only people that have outstanding tickets.
Well, caller, let me ask the caller a question.
Outstanding ticket in Jamaica, so we don't want to limit it down.
Caller, Mr. Rattigan, want to say something to you?
Yeah, let me ask a quick question then. Is there when the tickets were issued? When the tickets were issued, do you know if the people who received those tickets, the people who committed the infraction?
I'm not hearing them at all.
Did I hear me?
No, I'm barely.
You sure? Well, yeah. Jeffrey, are you a thing, man? Ah, Jeffrey, let me just tell you. Let me tell you a question, and you can relate to him. When the infractions were committed and the tickets were issued, was there like did the police, or is it normal for the police to say, okay, you have 20 days to pay this ticket, and if it goes beyond 20 days, then there will be a penalty attached to it. Is how does that work?
Never hear no police or nothing like that yet.
Did you hear the question, caller?
No, you said you're going to create it. That's
Oh,
what I hear. You can't really.
he's saying that if you get a ticket, do you get a period of time to pay the ticket? That's what they say, Mr. Rattigan?
Yeah, and if you don't pay it by that time, is there like a penalty
And if
or
you don't
an
pay by that time,
interest on it or whatever?
is there a penalty if you don't pay by that time?
All right. Let me answer that. You're given a ticket. Now the ticket have two conditions to it. You have a fine, or you can, if you don't agree with the charge being brought against you, then you have a court date. So between the court date and the date the ticket is issued, you have that time frame to pay the ticket. So the problem comes along when the court date pass. Yeah, it's very difficult because we have to go to know if we go pay the ticket. The only way you can pay the ticket now when the court date starts pass, you have to go to the office and ask them to slip you in. And ask them now to slip you in. Now the problem is, my general, between the issue date, the date they get the ticket, and the time to pay the ticket, and the court date. I know all of we have the time to go stand up at tax office for one whole day. Just like how you can pay a light bill on your phone, your water bill on your phone. Allow government to put it in place where you get a ticket, you can go your yard, lie down in your bed and pay the ticket. But even my niece, and I'll go back to my niece, for example, she can beg the time from work just to go pay a ticket for go stand up at tax office the whole day. And those are some of the little intricacies we need to look at. Another problem that their court system have that they are aware. When the court date is mentioned, and let's say you're not there, what the judge has to do now, the judge has to set a trial date. Between that mentioned date and that trial date, sometimes it's a year. When that trial date comes along and you don't go court, then sometime on next 2 years before you get another date. So between the court process, between the mentioning and the issuing of the warrant, sometimes can take up to 4 years because of them sloppy system. After them sloppy system cause that, and that is why one person is able to accumulate 100, 200, 300, 400 tickets, because during that little period of it going through the processing system, it's lengthy. So they realized that now, and what had happened, they weren't able now to take you. They weren't able now to issue. They weren't able to issue a warrant, or the police weren't able to take you in on court because of outstanding ticket. And I can tell you why too. So let's say you have 10 outstanding ticket and 1 warrant, and the police take you in on the warrant. When the judge said to the clerk of court, say, go look for the 10 outstanding ticket, that might take the clerk of court the whole day.
Because they don't have a proper recording system either. And that is why they have a glitch in the system. When you pay a ticket, you say not pay. So the government they collect 2 times. Thief!
Alright.
Alibaba need 40 thief!
Alright. So what do you think happen now? Them realize the flaw in them system that is creating this little chaos. So what them say now, under the amended act, what them have, what they're saying is, once you don't go court, is a warrant. So you don't need the judge now to sign to issue the warrant. That's why they can't. That's why Mr. Here now, him can come with this,
Because what he's suggesting, I'm on the mind a lawyer, Mr. Finnegan get a lawyer, see if we can get an injunction on this. What Mr. Here is suggesting to government, which they are running with. So once they do attend court, it's an immediate warrant. So I am saying to motorists too, motorists where they are beat with down, if you get a ticket to date present and the court and you don't pay it, you forget to pay it somehow, and the court date pass, consider a warrant is out for you. So when motorists they are beat bus and taxi man, that is the system them that they have to face.
You
I
know,
hope I answer your question, Mr. Rattigan.
Yes, yes, indeed, sir. Yes, indeed. And it just what it does, it just demonstrates to me that with all the money them get for set up all kind of digitize the records, including police records. When they have that big book there when they write you in. That again, where is the money? Where's the money? But thank you so much for answering the question. I'm gonna make sure so me not get no ticket. Let me come there.
But Mr.
thank you
Jeff,
for calling in, caller.
Yeah, man, they are going to listen to your program, brother. Yeah,
Thank
man,
you, and
thanks.
remember to like, share, and subscribe. Share the thing when people subscribe to it, because this is the voice
Jeff.
of poor people.
Definitely will, brother.
Make we talk is the voice of the poor of the poorest in this country.
Definitely will. Thank you.
All right, so because we have a song to play before we make Reverend Finnegan come back on. Finny, Sir Finnegan.
Yes, sir.
You all right?
I'm good.
All right, we not play one song. Fire Pan Rome. No only copyrights to this song.
People don't get weary. Them take off the shackles and chains and say them free with. But we still on a mental slavery. Wanna sing with the Star Trail posse, my lord. Fire pan Rome. People fall on them scissors and comb. Black people want go home. On Mount Zion and the righteous throne.
Yo.
People fall on them scissors and comb. Black people want go home. On Mount Zion and the righteous throne. Well, this is my question to Issa and the one Matalan. Oh, no get free one so much black people and after them slave achieve nothing in hand. Check out greater port more Britain. One room on a villa selfie 1 million. Them just do the house the water 100 grand. To me a leak out them want me keep quiet. But me a bonfire baby one put Stuart. Who buy you the plates and all the pilot. To me no in a Jamaica long pitan. A big bonfire upon the one name Azan. Everybody know downtown a baby poor man. How them claim shit and said to them it belong. No more hustling that me no food in a hand. One help we have is the almighty one. Jamaican chant me song. Fire pan Rome. People call on him scissors and comb. Black people want go home. I'm Mount Zion and the righteous throne. You go yo, fire pan Rome. People call on him scissors and comb. Black people want go home. I'm Mount Zion and the righteous throne. My Lord, don't talk, just listen. Me a people on fire, baby, J. Pattison. He makes certain move and we know too certain.
We have a bonfire for the one and na. Hey, I tell you, say no. I sick and fed up of the going in the country, you know. Poor people wake up. Jamaicans wake up. You know what's going on in this country? Dictatorship going on in this country. Vladimir Putin ruling. GG Ping for China the rule. The little rocket man, when him again? Call him little rocket man. What him name again, Ratty?
Vibe the other right now. But Rocket Man good man for North Korea.
In North Korea.
Mm.
How long shall poor people suffer under the hands of these people? Give the people them the amnesty. Because on a write off tax debt for one radio station. Give the taxi man them. Because we got hello. Don't make Wilfred Rattigan and other people call out on the deals, you know. You better give the taxi man and taxi drivers them the amnesty. Judgment not happen if you don't do it. God don't like ugly. You know, write off tax sitting for one radio station and don't think we don't know. You don't think we don't know so no write off sitting for radio station? That's when I can't run to the radio station all the while. Mr. Finnegan, come in and say what you have to say, sir, because I know you're tired.
Well,
What
not
is
only
the morning?
well,
We're
not
gonna
only
drop Nigel point tomorrow and point.
so Jeffrey,
From Middlesex, I'm sorry.
tired of the issue now. I am 1 hour late for an executive meeting. We had an executive meeting planned for 8. But there's 2 things I want to say before I leave. The caller didn't complete the second part of Mr. Rattigan question about if the ticket would have incurred interest.
Right.
And the answer, the ticket in itself, if it is not paid on time, it wouldn't have incurred any interest. But then when you go to court, the judge over the last couple of years, maybe 3 or 4 years, have been putting on increase on it. And when you contest the increase, the judge said that you are wasting the court time because you had 21 days to go and pay it at the tax office. So when you go to the court now, the judge tends to put on a little more on it. What I want to close with, members of the panel, is that with all of the location I visited today, the operators are in very high spirit, very energized, still in their civilized and peaceful mood. But when I visit them and don't have any good news coming from the cabinet, then all of that energetic mood goes. And when I try to find out what is their major concern at that time, it is the fact of come December 1, they would not have a driver's license. And I must tell you, it is driving extreme fear in these operators because for whatever reasons, which I have not been questioning them individually, but this is what we would have considered to be their tool of trade. They make a living by driving. And the first thing the police ask you for when he stop you is your papers and your driver's license. And so that is a fear that is within them. The question you ask, what are our plans for tomorrow? The withdrawal of service continue. And
Yes,
it will
sir.
continue until we either hear from government or our members say, Mr. Finnegan, we don't think we can go another day. And if they make the decision that they can go another day, then I know they might be thinking of resorting to other things because for me to be knowing 99.9% of these operators for the first time today, I've met them on the platform in the group, but seeing them face to face for the first time today, I realize that they have gone a level of respect for me as though they are all grown men. Because some of the plans that they have the way forward, and I tell them no, I don't get that type of rebuttal from them. I don't get the type of resentment. They say, sir, if you don't think this is the right thing for us to do, tell us what you think is right. And I'll tell them what I think is right. Continue the withdrawal of your service. Stay in the confine of the law. If you don't have to come out, stay home. And if you come out, park off the road. Stand on one side of the road with your placard. And I do not get the type of response that the country expect to get from taximen, which they believe is uncivilized. And it is, even me of myself, was surprised at the response I get from all these men in every location I go today. So Finnegan, our director, if this is what you think we should do, then we go with your word. So the plan for tomorrow is withdrawal, and it continue in peaceful protest. And those who don't want to stay home, they are being advised to follow the process that they use today. Park in a open lot or park at a convenient place that you're not obstructing traffic. Keep out of the thoroughfare where you are not obstructing people going about their lawful business.
Thank you
Members of
very
the panel.
Go ahead.
And Mr. Tavares, whenever you have Mr. Rattigan on the show again, I want to discuss with him the chartered right of the citizen of Jamaica as it related to the Constitution in Jamaica. And two is I want to discuss with him immigration matters, not in any depth, but just on the surface in regards to where.
When it comes down to the
What's that? I'm at your service, sir. I'm at your service.
All right.
When it comes down to the fundamental of the charter, there's a part in the I can lead it to it. I don't have it on my head right now, but you know who would have it before you go on, before you leave. I have Michael Williams, the chairman of the National Democratic Movement. He has a lot of insight when it comes on to the Constitution of Jamaica. Michael, good evening to you, sir.
Greetings and salutations, my brother.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Sorry I'm late. I'm here. I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here.
You hear what's going on in the country?
Well, I live here. I'm here every day.
All right. Before I make you talk about what I want you to talk about, Reverend Finnegan, who is a part of the executive director of the One Voice group, the taxi group that does organize all what is going on. He wants you to give him a little insight on the Charter of Fundamental Rights.
Yep. So Jeffrey.
Yes.
I wouldn't be able to take that now, man. I'm rushing for executive meeting.
Okay, go to the executive meeting and we'll still talk about it though. Go ahead, sir.
All right, thanks for your time. All right.
Thank you. That was Reverend Finnegan, executive director of the One Voice group. Now we have with us here the chairman of the National Democratic Party, Democratic Movement in Jamaica, Mr. Michael Williams. Mr. Williams, what is going on in our country and the arrogance of the government? Can you elaborate some more on that, sir?
Well, there are two sets of arrogant people. The taxi operators are very arrogant also, and more so very indisciplined. Right? And I'm sorry, Mr. Finnegan is gone, but I just say briefly that everybody have a fundamental right for peaceful protest. But what the taxi operators did today, they had strong men in 3 different areas of the corporate area. Hunts Bay, out east, halfway tree, and in the park area. And they were stopping persons who have taxis, who wanted to run their taxis.
We're going further, Mr. Williams. We're going further. Hold on a minute, please. We're going further. I'm going to allow you to finish, but before you go any further, hold on a minute for me, please. The taxi men did not. The taxi man wasn't the one who was taking out people to the taxis, you know. There was another group of people who decide that they want to take the law into their own hands and do it. And make the taxi men and women look bad. It was not the taxi men and women doing it.
Well,
because when the news came to me, I made my personal checks.
All right.
And people on the ground were saying, no, Mr. Tavares is not them.
Yes, of
Go
course.
ahead.
Well, what I'm telling you, I don't know who did it, but there are men doing it and saying that no taxi must run.
But if the people need amnesty, Mr. Williams, hold on there now, man, hold on. The people need amnesty. And the only way to get the government, the one voice team, the only way to get the government to answer them, because it seems as if the only way to get government to recognize poor people in Jamaica is to black road and burn tire.
Well, that I'm a part of that in the past, so I understand all of that, right?
So do you believe that they should get an amnesty, sir?
Well, that is up to the government to give them an amnesty.
No. You are the chairman of a political party, Mr. Williams, and I'm asking you the question, sir. Do you believe that the poor pauperizing bus and taxi drivers should get an amnesty?
No, because they got one already. They got 2 amnesties in the past.
So hold
they
on
got
now.
2 amnesties.
So, okay, you don't believe in it. So do you believe? Hold on there.
I heard Mr. Finnegan saying that his niece has 4 tickets and his niece don't have no time to go pay them. Well, one thing that I want to tell you, you can pay the ticket online 14 days. You have 14 days to pay the ticket online.
So hold on here now, Mr. Hold on, sir. You hold on a minute. Hold on. Hold your horses there now, man. If you go online, and every time I go online, the damn system tells us in accepting credit card and accepting this, what should you do? You're working for somebody.
It's credit card I pay with.
But I'm telling you the system. I am telling you, Mr. Williams, the system has a glitch in it. When you go online to pay, they tell that kind of shit.
Well, that is not my experience. And I have paid many tickets.
You don't support the amnesty. So if your party was in power, you don't support the amnesty either.
Well, the first thing is, they got 2 amnesties in the past.
No, Mr. Williams, the question I'm asking you, sir, if your party was in power.
I do not support this amnesty, yes.
Well, you support the gun amnesty though?
The gun amnesty is not an amnesty. The gun amnesty is totally rubbish. Because no bad man is carrying in a gun.
Williams, you and I are good friends. You support the gun amnesty, but you don't support the tax.
No. The gun amnesty is rubbish.
No. The government said they're giving them an amnesty. So it's an amnesty. Okay? You don't support the taxi drivers to get an amnesty, but you support the gunmen to get an amnesty.
Look here, I just told you that the amnesty is rubbish. The gun amnesty is rubbish.
No. Answer the question, sir. Yes or no? Do you support gunmen to get an amnesty?
No. Why would I? It's rubbish. Look here. There are two things out there with the gun amnesty, right? The 2 parts to it. They are paying $500,000 for turning all gun. That is rubbish. That is rubbish. Because all I'm going to do is turn in a whole gun, get $500,000 and go buy a brand new gun. So that is rubbish.
And the poor pauperizing, not because they drive lawless. You have some people in a high authority where they drive Prado and drive this, they drive nasty too.
Okay.
If they can't give the gunmen them amnesty, give them amnesty too.
Jamaica is a lawless society. Right? Lawless. Because you have Alibaba running the government. Jamaica
So
is a
that
lawless
means,
society.
so that means that the busmen and taxi men
Totally lawless.
hold on, Mr. Williams. That means the busmen and taxi men must not be a part of your organization now, the National Democratic Movement then. Because you know support amnesty for them.
Look here, I don't support lawlessness.
Answer the question, Mr. Williams.
I don't support how they are going about asking for the amnesty. Because them do, what they should do is meet an organization and go to the government and ask for amnesty. You don't go and strike and then say you want amnesty.
But they've been asking the damn government from when, Mr. Williams. They've been asking the government from when, sir.
I have not heard that, and I live in Jamaica.
Well, I am a part of the organization. I've been asking them. We have wrote letters to them many times.
Many times.
More than one time, and then the place no mind.
And Audley Shaw replied to you and said no amnesty.
Audley Shaw, listen to
Yeah.
me. No, make I start tonight, you know. I don't know, go like it.
Well, just answer that. No? If you write to Audley Shaw and say no amnesty.
They have written to them more than one time. They have asked for it. Okay. Since you said, okay, you said that then. Do you believe that the bus and taxi operators should get a fare increase?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. That them should get a very, very, very good fare increase because everything gone up in Jamaica, including the bogus gas price. So they should definitely get an increase.
So hold on, you don't believe in the amnesty, but do you believe for the government to be giving them illegal tickets that is not constitutional in this country in the sense of they have been giving them some ticket where some prices on it is illegal. That is why the man took them to court.
Well, let me tell you something. I have had 4 instances where the policeman make mistake and write the ticket. And I call the office and they give me a paper to say that ticket must not be paid. If you don't know the process, then you are ignorant to the process. If you get a ticket, you have 14 different tickets. And if you don't pay that ticket online in 14 days, it blocks you off. You have to go to court. And you go to court and you pay the fine in the court. If you ignore both of those things, which what the taxi operator has been doing, to run up 120 tickets, 3 tickets, 4 tickets, 50 tickets.
Hold on, Mr. Williams. Did you know that some of the taxi men and women pay the ticket and there's a glitch in the system that they haven't paid it? And when they carry the ticket, they pay?
That also happens. But if you pay the ticket online, you get a receipt online.
But they get a receipt also from the tax officer. And the tax office, when it is a glitch in the system, the police are saying that the ticket have not been paid when it has been paid.
Well, then let them have a proof that it's paid.
But they show them the receipt that the ticket has been paid, Mr. Williams.
Then let them easy sort out.
What can easy sort out?
If you have paid a ticket and the police say you haven't paid it, you know, show them that you have paid it.
Then you know, Michael Williams.
Brother Williams, how you doing, sir? Nice seeing you again. Yeah.
Yes,
let me ask you a quick question. You said that you're all for the taxi drivers getting an increase, but you dislike the way they went about this amnesty business, because what they should have done is they should have written to the government and waited for a response and then take it from there. No, we have been told that that has been done, that they have written to the government on several occasions and they haven't gotten a favorable response. Now, assuming that's true, what do you think they should do at this point?
Keep asking the government for a response. Go public with it.
They've gone public. They've gone public.
When they went public, they went on strike.
No, my understanding is that they went public with it. I mean, this is something that I believe Jeffrey chairs a meeting, or he's part of a meeting where with the transport sector, where they've talked about this thing. They've gone public with it. So let me see if I understand what you're saying. You're saying that just keep asking the government and hopefully the government will come to terms.
Well, they are responding to a response that was not made by the government. That was made by Mr. Here. Mr. Here gave a response. He said, come December 1. Come December 1, all persons tickets, something going to happen to them.
Then Mr. Williams,
Isn't
Mr. Here a part of a government entity, sir?
No, he doesn't make policy.
The question I'm asking you, sir.
Amnesty is a policy matter.
The question I'm asking you, Mr. Williams, isn't Gov't here a part of a government entity?
Yes.
So if he comes out as a part of the Island Traffic Authority and makes such utterance, you as a Jamaican gonna listen to him?
No, I am asking the government. If I'm asking the government on a policy issue, you can't ask me to hear that. Here don't make policy.
Mr. Williams.
Here don't make policy.
If Mr. Gov't here came out and made such utterance, and the Minister of Transport heard him make such utterance and did not correct the man, the people are going to believe what Gov't here said?
No, it is not a question of correction. You have to understand the law is a different thing than policy. The law says something is going to happen, but the taxi operators are not asking for a law matter. They are asking for a policy matter. And it is government, it is minister and government that make policy. It is a government servant like Gov't here that after the policy is made, then they implement that policy. This is that.
So Williams, let me ask you this question. Let's take the conversation now to its logical conclusion, right? If the December 1st, if they don't make this payment, then that's it. They don't have any license, right? And if the government refuses to deal with them until that point in time, come December 1st, you're going to have a whole bunch of taxi drivers who are unable to drive. So we're still in the same position, which is that the public won't be able to move about as they could a week or 2 weeks or a couple of days ago, because the taxi drivers, essentially the government now is going to put them on strike by saying, well, you don't have a license, so you can't operate.
I have only explained to you, they have 2 more weeks. They could have continued the dialogue without going on strike.
Dialogue with who?
But Mr. Williams, my understanding, and correct me, I'm open to being fully corrected, is that it's not a strike, it's a refusal to provide service.
Well,
they have the legal constitutional right to do it.
Right.
That is absolutely, but that is not what played out on the ground.
Mr. Williams,
is that some men who support the taxi operators, not the taxi operators themselves, but men who support them, were doing some illegal things.
Then hold on there. When the People's National Party and the JLP, what if you had then nastiness about campaigning? So nasty is not going to?
Yes. Right now, there's an ad. There's an ad that the JLP is putting out for their own conference. And the ad that them put out have whole heap of illegal things in it. The ad itself. But I don't expect nothing better from the JLP or the PNP because them is both Alibaba.
But I go back to the bus and taxi operator. Because you see me, when it come on to things, we can't stand in.
I sympathize with people when they are in the right.
So they are not in the right now?
Not how they're going about it.
Mr. Williams, let me say something to you now. I, Jeffrey Tavares, has been invited to the transport group.
Yes, sir.
By a well-known individual. Him not talk to me now. Edgerton Newman. All right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm privileged. I am privileged to a lot of things. Even I don't keep me off my platform because I chat too much. I'm outspoken and I like it. Other people have me, and I have been privy to a lot of things, and they have been speaking to the government more than once. They have written letters to the government, even the same Edgerton Newman. They've been asking for amnesty from when, and they pay them no mind. When Canutier came out and made the utterance he did, what the government should have done is come out and said, listen, what Mr. Canutier said is either I go so or I don't go so. Because Canutier became judge, jury, and executioner.
Well,
so what the taxi drivers decide to do, that enough is enough. And they took to the streets. Now, if other people come within the confine of the taxi groups and decide to go ahead and do what they want to do, there's nothing the taxi group can do about it. Yes, it's going to look bad on them. But they cannot continue surviving no more. If they can give their friends and cronies tax write-off and give gun amnesty, why can't they give the bus and taxi operators in this country who are carrying the commuters all around this country ticket amnesty?
I think they can.
But
I think they can.
Mr. Williams,
I would not have gone about it the way that they got the taxi operators. The first thing is, any reasonable government should have responded long time to the taxi operators' request.
True.
Right? But this is not a reasonable government. We all know that.
All right. So then I'll ask you the question. I'll put this question to you. The government is unreasonable and the taxi operators, they're unyielding. So now we're at December 2nd. Give us your prognosis of the situation, considering that we're in the festive season.
Well, I believe that if the taxi operators go back to work, they will get the amnesty.
But hold on now. If the government of Jamaica met in cabinet today and they send out a release that they will not bow to no bus and taxi for no amnesty, you believe that if they go back to work, they get an amnesty? Nonsense you're talking, Mr. Williams.
Look here. I have not seen. Have you seen the text of the release that the government has put out? I have not seen it yet.
I've seen it. And the categorically said they would not give them an amnesty.
While they're on strike, or no condition?
The release said that they will not give an amnesty. They encourage them to go and pay the tickets that they got and go back to work. That's what the release said.
Okay.
So again,
to go back to work.
So again, Mr. Williams, the question. So again, Mr. Williams, the question is December 2nd. Where do we stand?
Well, I don't know, but what they should do, in my opinion, is go back to work and show some good face, pay some of the tickets, and still make a request for amnesty after December 2nd.
But Mr. Williams, you said this government is an unreasonable government. So why do you think that after they give up, they yield their position, right? And now they say, okay, we're gonna go back to work, we're gonna pay tickets, and we're looking for an amnesty. Given the fact that the government said we're not giving you an amnesty, why do you think the government would yield at that point and say, okay, fine, we'll give you an amnesty?
I think that there have to be a compromise.
But
right,
you can only have a compromise with reasonable people. And you said the government is unreasonable.
Well, even if the government is being unreasonable, we have to be reasonable. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's a two-way street, though.
What? All right. Let us say the tax operators stay out for 2 weeks. Then is that what you are suggesting?
No, I'm not suggesting that they do it. I'm asking you. I'm saying, what if they do? Then what do you see happening in the future?
Chaos. More chaos. And that is why I'm trying to avoid chaos. and I'm saying that we still have time. We still have time. And the taxi operators must sit down. The new group or somebody must sit down with the Minister of Transport and try and organize.
They have been asking for audience with the Minister of Transport from Wapi kill Philip and Philip dead long time. But it's amnesty, and they don't pay them no mind. So what they did, Mr. Williams, was to say enough is enough, and they took to the streets.
Yeah, all right.
The government of Jamaica knew about a meeting that was held at the Halfway Tree Primary School with Edgerton Newman, and nobody went there either. Knowing Mr. Newman, tell the Minister of Transport, listen to me, I'm going to have a meeting. Why didn't Minister Ardley Shaw send his technocrat? Why didn't the Prime Minister of Jamaica, since him left going to cut ribbon? Why didn't he say, okay, let us meet with them? A good leader, any good leader in any modern democracy.
I agree with that.
In this country. Why didn't he do it?
Well, I am telling you that we don't have a good leader.
But you're coming here telling me pure damn nonsense tonight, Mr. Williams. And I don't like it, sir. It's your opinion, but it's going on, man.
I don't care what you mind, to tell you the truth. I am telling you what I feel. Because I speak my mind straight. Just like you, my brother. I speak my mind straight. I believe this one, they still have 2 weeks to talk. And I firmly believe in compromise.
Somebody want to speak to them.
Somebody will speak to them. Make them go back to work and with normalcy and talk to them again.
And okay. They go back to work.
I believe that they go back to work. They show good face. Somebody will respond to them in 2 weeks. In a week. In a week.
If they go back to work now, Mr. Williams, they go back to work. All right?
I believe. Even an unreasonable government will talk to them.
Huh?
Even an unreasonable government will talk to them. Because, as a matter of fact, this is a critical time for them to talk to them. Because I'm conference coming up Sunday and I'm having an election soon.
And that is what I'm saying to you. If the Prime Minister, hold on a minute. If the Prime Minister really need the support of the bus and taxi operators, what he should have done when he heard about what was going on, when he heard that Canute came out and said what he said, then he should have said, no, Canute, hold on a minute. Call in. Have a town hall meeting with the bus and taxi operators here in Ardley Shaw. But they didn't do it. So when they're gonna call now, because they don't have conference of the Labour Party and they talk kind of damn nonsense to the people, them tell them how much gun they find when they don't find none, and how much this, and how much that, and get crime plan when there's not a damn crime plan. He might put the dumb down and the damn idiot to the commissioner of police who go like him at somebody. Listen to him, make a stack of us in tonight.
Look here. You have to learn to live with what we have. We have all the things that you described is what we have. But what we're going to do? We have to either change Jamaica to what is up we know is a better place, or we live with what we have. I used to do what the taxi operator is doing from 1979. Black Road and cause disturbance.
That is the only thing that politicians in this country will relate to.
I'm a product of all of that. After everything is done, we still have to talk. So let us try and find a compromise. That's all I'm saying. All of there's water under the bridge now, but we have to find a compromise.
My fellow Jamaicans, we have been at it from 7 o'clock this evening. Our final person who came on is the outspoken chairman of the National Democratic Movement, the Honorable Michael Williams.
Not honorable, sir, just like you. Just a man who wants to...
Me is more honorable than them in the parliament. Me is more honorable than them in the parliament.
I have no doubt about that. But don't bother call me honorable. Just call me ordinary Michael Williams or Chamunda Williams.
And we have the son.
We don't want no title.
We have the son of Waterhouse, a Jamaican by birth, a former FBI agent, attorney at law. We had with us the executive director of the One Voice Group, Reverend Finnegan, my good friend, a Jamaican Chipamento. We're talking about the rejection from the government for ticket amnesty of the bus and taxi operators. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. I have with me, oh Lord, sorry a moment, sorry. I have the great-great-grandson of I have the great-great-grandson of St. Thomas Online. Good evening, great-great-grandson.
Hey Jeffrey, you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Hello, caller.
Yes, let me just take on Mr. Williams for a second and edify him.
Hold on, before you take on Michael Williams, I have a call online. Good evening, young lady.
Good night, Mr. Tavares.
How are you doing, ma'am?
Doing very well.
What you're calling the program to tell us about what is going on with the transport sector for tomorrow morning?
Well, I cannot speak to that as I am a former transport operator.
So why you call the program? You like Wilfred Rattigan voice and my voice, or which one of that? Which one do you like?
She like Michael voice, man. Michael she love.
No, you hear that? Repeat again, can you never hear? Repeat that loud, I can never hear you. Repeat no man.
Me like Mr. Rattigan voice and me like him face.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead, darling.
All right. The name is Yvette.
Yes, Yvette.
When I was a transport operator, I used to be a taxi driver. So my group members called me Alligator Mama. I got that name because I have thick skin, right? I was the only female in the group. So there was like 150 males. Fine, that's said and done. First of all, we have a educated, full government running the country. How can you not want income, yet you want to spend? You have to have money to spend money, right? How you go pay gunman for bringing illegal gun? Yet, you know, grant transport operators an amnesty so you can get income in order to pay. All right. There are some things you need to understand about the transport sector. First of all, the transport minister, in collaboration with the transport authority, issue excess amount of road license. There are different classes of road license. You have hackney carriage, you have, pardon me, I just come from work and I'm tired.
Go ahead, man.
So you have hackney carriage, you have route, and you have, I don't remember the other one. Anyways, the main problem is there's no parking. And if you don't have anywhere to park, how are you going to operate legally? Taxi people operate as if we are criminals because we have to be constantly hiding from the police. If you want to pick up or set down passenger, you have to constantly look if the police is around. If the taxi people don't work, police don't work. Because guess what? Police not fighting crime. They're not looking for criminals. They're not looking for guns and drugs. They're looking for taxi people to give them ticket. Because guess what? Taxi people are the government cash cow. When we get ticket, if we don't pay the ticket, and I heard, I think that man, Mr. Williams, he says the president of NDM.
Chairman of the National Democratic Movement.
Or the chairman.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, please note that his party will never go into power based on his utterances. Next thing. What was I saying before I said that? See with me, please. I have a lot to say. All right. When you get a ticket, right? I have a question for Mr. Williams. I heard him say 14 days. When I used to drive taxi, when you get a ticket, you had 21 days in which to pay that ticket. And if you don't pay the ticket within 21 days, then you have a court date on the ticket that you have to attend court. When you go to court, depending on your plea, the judge not going to charge you what is on the ticket. They're going to charge you double or triple. Fine? Next thing, the transport authority issue badges. In order to get a badge, you have to have a police record. A police record not free and it's not cheap. If you want one for 21 days, at $3,000. If you want it for less than that, you have up to $8,000 where you have to pay to get it. When you listen me good enough.
Listening.
No, a police record. When you get a police record, where that tell you say? I'm asking you a question.
Wilfred, Rattigan, to answer that question? Because I lost track a while ago.
No, if you get a police record, it shows that you don't have any outstanding charges or they have not been.
Hold on a minute. What he's saying, are you hearing us now?
Yes.
Okay. If you get a police record, that just show you that you don't have any charges against you.
Okay. No, not fine. That means you are not a criminal. In order to get a badge, you have to present a police record, right? When you present a police record and you get the badge cannot be used anywhere. Not even the transport authority will accept the badge. Now, forget a driver's license, you don't need a police record, you know?
So hold on there. Hold on a minute. The transport authority issue a badge. And them same one don't accept the badge?
My point exactly. And
so what kind of manual is this?
Because me a talk based on experience. I was the holder of a badge.
I have to get in contact with a good friend of mine, Miss Brown. Miss Brown, if you're hearing me, I have to call you and get me some clarification on this.
You can't, if you go to the all right, say you apply for your road license. You cannot take the badge to collect your road license. you have to have either your driver's license or your passport or some other form of national identification. And remember now, you have to pay $3,000, 21 days, may I put you at the minimum, for the police record. Then you have to pay $2,500 to the transport authority for training, forget the badge. Then you have to pay $1,500. So the badge that is not acceptable anywhere can run you up to $10,000.
But Almighty God in heaven.
And it not accepted anywhere, not even the transport authority. And them come out the road and charge you if you don't have a badge. So if the police or the transport authority stop you and they ask you for your documents and they say, where's your badge, and you don't have one, you get a summons to go to court. From the transport authority, the police give you a ticket. So the government hold on and take with money. So them are rape we. Understand? All right. Most of the tickets that taxi operators get in the KMTR is for no parking. Because take for instance Halfway Tree, Clock Tower. Over Spencer James Park, it's a limited amount of spaces in there. And there are times when the police and the transport authority come in there, block the park, and tell you that only route taxis can operate in there. Only route taxis can park in there. Police seize taxi inside the park. Police issue a ticket inside the park. Now, Mark, you know, I had a clean slate when I was in the transport sector. Because if I get a ticket and they might say, yeah, woman, I'm police, now I say I'm police and did this. Me and police clash wicked a road. Remember me tell you. Me and them have it out. I can remember. Huh?
Carla, hold a minute for me. Hold a minute. I have a little breaking news coming into me.
Okay,
and
no
this
problem.
is the same thing Wilfred Rattigan have been asking about. I am seeing a video put out by I wish I could upload it on my thing. We're going to take a little time. Put out by the Jamaica Observer and the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And this is in the heart of Halfway Tree. The police is the one who is transporting people home, who is fighting crime. So don't you think that the government should have just given the people the amnesty and done? It's same way the police, and you know who not go and go slow next? The police. Because Nigel Clark refused to pay them the money supposed to get. Now there's about 2 police vehicles in the heart of Halfway Tree at this time. It was minutes ago to do this. It's now minutes to 10 o'clock. And they're out there trying to get people home. Prime Minister Holness, be reasonable. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Minister Audley Shaw, be very reasonable, sir. The bus and taxi operators are human beings. I don't condone lawlessness because some of them drivers, if then they are Dover. But the fact of the matter is, sir, not all of them is the same. And I don't condone lawlessness. But if you can have the security forces carrying home people, it's all good and dandy. But who is fighting the crime? When they're out there trying to carry home people from Halfway Tree or wherever, and somebody tearing down the National Commercial Bank, or somebody tearing down a home where a poor 80-year-old woman in, who's going to go around there for them? When we only have 12,000, or is it 12,000, Wilfred? Police in Jamaica?
12.
12,000. Carla, you have something else to say? Because we're going to wrap up this now. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. Crime is not a priority of the government in Jamaica. The priority of the government is to keep on riding on the transport sector back because they are their cash cow. No, my advice to the government is grant the amnesty, clear up the traffic tickets, and they need to get good people to work in those offices because the tickets, I have a ticket that I got in December 2010. I cannot forget it. And I paid that ticket before the end of December, before 2011 came in. And up to 2020, I have that ticket as being outstanding. I had to go to the tax office where I thought I paid the ticket. I went to Crossroads tax office, and one of the attendants in there said I paid it at the Constant Spring office and gave me all the details and said, go to Constant Spring and they'll give you one of those written receipts. I went to Constant Spring and one of the attendants told me that they don't do that. And I said to her, because I was looking about my badge at Transport Authority, right? And they said, I have an outstanding ticket. And I said, it's not outstanding. I paid it. They said, I have to have the proof or else I cannot get the badge. Now, remember, this badge is something not acceptable, you know. Anyways, she said, they don't do that. I said, well, if I cannot do business in my country because of one ticket that I paid, like 9 years after, then CVM is down the road and that's where I'm going. And that's when I got her attention. She just went on the system, took whatever information I gave her and produced the receipt. And I have to be driving up and down with that receipt. And every time a policeman stopped me and run my license, he tell me that I have that ticket outstanding. So I have to produce the receipt to show that it is not outstanding. So the system has flaws. Right? So all these tickets that I hear they saying taxi man have 100 and odd ticket outstanding, bull. Nothing like that.
All right.
Their system needs to be fixed. And the government needs to learn that they will never be re-elected. Unless them taxi man they don't have no sense.
Thank you very much.
Anyways, it was nice talking to you.
Because tomorrow we have to continue this on Roots 96.1 FM at 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock on the Make We Talk program. Thank you for calling in.
I won't be able to participate at that time.
But you can listen to it on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for calling in,
darling. Or call up. Well, you can listen to Reason with Rattigan on www.reggaeglobalradio.com at between 5 and 7. 5 p.m. and 7 p.m.
You can share that in the group for me, please.
I will.
All
right. Thank you very much. We have with us the great-great-grandson of Paul Bogle, Sir Clark. you led a rebellion this morning in St. Thomas, sir?
No, sir. I am much wiser than my great-grandfather. You know, I have children to live for and more to make.
This evening you have with us, because we're going to wrap up in the time soon. We have with us this evening the son of Waterhouse and the chairman of the National Democratic Movement and outspoken individual, Michael Williams. Go ahead, Mr. Clark.
Yeah, man. I wanted to address a couple of things with Mr. Williams. But I just wanted to pick up on something the young lady was talking about a while ago. One of the things that I realized, and it came on the news today, somebody from the tax department was addressing that they upload when persons pay the tickets at the tax office. They upload the system. What I suspect is happening that the uploads may not have been completed properly, or when they go to whoever the traffic department, they don't go through them and pick them out and clear them off their system, because it's on two different systems. They're not networked together where they're compatible. I think it's a physical process, and that's where the loophole is, where persons have paid tickets that is still saying that they are outstanding. But let me start with Mr. Williams first. You boast about you got several tickets already and you pay all of them in 14 days and you pay online. My word of advice to you, mine warrant issue for you in December. You go check your license, you hear? Make you a wake-up call. Go and check your license because you may be in for a shock. Because a lot of white plate drivers or private motor drivers have that same situation where you have paid tickets and they have warrants for them. It's when they run into a dragnet, they find out that they have a warrant and they're arrested. So my advice to you, sir, you need to go and check. Don't believe the system, because the system in Jamaica is a flaw. Okay?
There's something simpler than that you can do. You keep your receipt.
Yeah, but you won't have your receipt with you all the time. That's the point I'm making to you.
Keep your receipt in your car. You keep your receipt in. Simple
I
as
hear
that.
you. All right, let me continue then. The government is playing a mind game with the transport sector. What the government has done through the years is have association presidents that they have under their control, where they give them windfalls to keep the sector in line, and they can abuse the sector and to gain revenue from it. That's what they do. And that is where the crux of the matter is. So when you have a movement like One Voice that emerged overnight, they will gain traction. They did not ask for a violent protest. They asked for a withdrawal of service. They did not arrange for demonstration. They asked for a withdrawal of service. That's what they did. But you know, in everything, you'll have a few rogues, or you will have persons implant themselves into the system to create havoc for somebody's benefit. And all the videos I would say 90% of the videos I saw partying, I saw people park up, I see them having fun, they're playing music, they're drinking. Very few incidents you would have seen where there is some kind of altercation or intimidation then. And Mr. Tavares can verify that. And I'm almost certain Mr. Rattigan also. And I was seeing videos coming across the 14 parishes. So when the government going to release a statement that says no support for lawlessness and disorder, that is alarming. You pick out the 2% to release a statement and don't address the matter. What are they protecting? Revenue? Or are they protecting the interests of the people of Jamaica? The truth is, the ticketing system is a cash cow for the government, sir. And I think you need to get yourself in line with what the transport sector is saying if you really crave to be government of Jamaica. And furthermore, I am a bit surprised at your pronouncements earlier. And I heard the rage in Mr. Tavares when you made those pronouncements. And I was enraged. That's why I came on. I was listening on YouTube, and then I said, I went, come on. And, I'm going to read something what the government said. And before I read it, I am sure that a petition was done a couple of weeks ago. And a copy was sent to the Minister of National Security, one was sent to the Transport Minister, and one was sent to the Finance Minister, and a copy to the Prime Minister. Nobody responded to it publicly or privately, in writing or in media releases or press releases. Nothing. It was frowned upon. Right? It was frowned upon. Furthermore, a letter was sent Friday to the Prime Minister. And I know some WhatsApp message went to his direct WhatsApp, which he read, and I don't know if he acknowledged, but he read them. It was seen and read. And all of a sudden, a release came out to one of the groups saying that they were going to meet in cabinet and pass the amnesty and to announce it in Parliament Tuesday. And then you come out with a release and no support for lawlessness and disorder. Sir, something wrong there. And I think you need to get your facts right if you really crave to be one of the parties that represent the people of Jamaica. You know what I saw today? I saw UIC all over the place. I don't like it. They were all over the place today. And they were supporting the transport sector. Yes, there are some rogue members out there, and I condemn that sort of action, but I support a withdrawal because the government has ignored the sector. The government has plagued the sector. When you have a policeman stop a driver, you have a stop sign violation, and you ask him for a badge. If he produce a badge, when you put him have a uniform, have a seatbelt, in documents up to order, the next day when you give him a ticket for mud flap, which a car make with mud flap. You see what I'm talking about? Because there's this drive up to meet a quota. So there's excessive issuing of tickets. You cannot stop a man for one violation and you give 10 tickets for some other things when I relate to the violation. And that is where the problem where you will have drivers with this great amount of tickets behind their name. How can they effectively pay for these tickets? If they miss a payment date and they go to court, it's 10 times the amount or 100 times the amount. And they lose points of their license. But yet, a police can give them ticket for years. And it's when something comes to the fore, you hear say, him have 200 outstanding tickets or 1,000 outstanding tickets. Why are they still give tickets and they already have outstanding tickets? There's something wrong. There's a disconnect. And we need to understand the crux of what is happening before we make pronouncement and condemn the sector. You need to be in the shoes of the. You hear the female talk a while ago? You hear her talk and how passionate she was? This is what Jamaica needs to understand. I understand there's an inconvenience, but I think it's at a boiling point. When them release the statement, what happened? The man them start a bonfire. And they say they're going another day. Guess what? Come December, if Kenwood here stick to his word, say I'm going to issue warrant. Guess what happened? There's void in the system anyhow, because JLTC can't carry them. I say police coaster bus and carry passenger today. I say police pick up and carry school children. Now is it safe? Overloading and body protruding, you know? So them not charge themselves. Hypocrisy, my brother. Have a good night.
You were going to read something from the Prime Minister's officer?
Yes. Cabinet wishes to emphasize the government and country will give no support for lawless disorder and welcomes the significant rejection of today's protest actions and demand. The government stands with all well-thinking Jamaicans who have been expressing a strong aversion to the action of a few to the detriment of the majority. All well-thinking Jamaicans are concerned that these actions have not only demonstrated a disregard for the needs of citizens going about their lawful business to get to work and school, but have also demonstrated complete disdain for law and order and discipline. In the context of high road fatalities and severe injuries on our nation's roads, we must protect the commuting public and encourage discipline among the motoring public, including taxi owners and drivers. The government is undertaking an internal process needed to effectively implement and enforce the new regime under the Road Traffic Act 2018 and its 22 regulations in order to secure greater accountability and discipline on our roads. And we call on those who are engaging in disruption of these transportation services to recognize the government will not relent in its effort to build a better transport sector and calls on calls on all law-abiding owners and operators to continue providing their services to their fellow Jamaicans going about their lawful business. We have advised persons who have broken the law as a result of unpaid tickets to pay their fines as ticketing. But yet a lot of the tickets are illegal because they're using a fine structure that is not in law. So you tell me, Mr. Williams, you really want to make a statement like that? I don't think you want to. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you very much.
You must understand the statement that was read. There is still an opportunity for dialogue. Only dialogue can solve any issue. Right? And you should have learned that already.
Hold on, Mr. Williams.
Mr. Williams, there's no further statement. None. The only thing he talks about is lawlessness and disorder and for go pay the ticket them. That's the gist of the message. And the new regime is coming. That's all they talk about.
You just said in your remarks before this that the government was going to consider an amnesty and they would announce it in Parliament on Tuesday. You just said that.
Yes, but no. But if we just said that,
that is before the lawlessness of today.
But Mr. Williams, we said that yes because they said it.
Yes.
But yes, they came out and said that they will not bow to any demand for amnesty.
Lawlessness.
We must have dialogue with them.
The statement that the gentleman read, they don't say nothing about amnesty. A long statement, it don't say nothing about amnesty. It said lawlessness.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming on. Well, gentlemen, thank you all for coming on. Wilfred, Michael Williams, the great-great-grandson of Paul Bogle, Sir Clark, thinking of the One Voice group. You have something to say, Wilfred, before I go?
The only thing I'd say is that the government needs to be flexible. Based on everything I've heard, because I wasn't fully aware of all the facts, but based on everything I've heard, including the statement read by Paul Bogle's great-great-grandson.
Mr. Clark.
Go ahead.
It would do the government well to concede that there is a huge problem, and coming up on the festive season, it has to be resolved, and that they would show some flexibility and meet with these people and try and resolve it, because arrogance and stubbornness will not address the issue. And especially since you have a conference coming up this weekend, you want to show, I mean, Michael said that, the drivers should show some good faith, but it has to be on both sides. The government has to show some good faith. And when you use language like lawlessness and things like that, it just, you amp up the temperature. And so people, because what I've heard, and people are very, very, they're very, very upset that that term was used to describe what they believe to be a lawful, a righteous, and a peaceful event today. So I'm just hopeful that they haven't shown the wherewithal to do this, but I'm hoping that in this instance they will find it and do something for the interest of the country, because God knows, I'm just afraid that if this doesn't work out, it's going to catch a fire. Other sectors will come along and do the same thing, and before you know it, as you said, Jeffrey, Jamaica is knocking on Haiti's back door. Thank you very much.
Wilfred Rattigan, former FBI agent. I think our good friend Michael Williams. Oh, I think he has gone. Sir Clark, your final word to the bus and taxi operators of Jamaica.
My final word is, if you have decided to continue the withdrawal, then let it just be withdrawal. Don't let it be any intimidation or violence, because that is what the government's going to use. The 1% or the 2% negative to crowd over the 90% of the effort really is about, which is a withdrawal of service. I implore every well-thinking operator to operate in decency and in order. Change the image and the face of the sector. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming on. Thank you all for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Jeffrey Tavares Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. We'll be on live tomorrow from 11 until 12 on Route 96.1 FM. Also on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. We're going to continue the discussion about the ticket amnesty for our bus and taxi operators. I will not give up. I will not stand by. I will continue fight with you guys until you can get some answers from the government of Jamaica. I'm going to play this song before I go. I do not own the copyrights to this song by Ernie Smith.
And as we fight one another for the power and the glory, the kingdom goes to waste. We the people want to know just where we're going. Right now we hands are tied behind the back, while certain people, if unbuttoned, where do we stand? We have too far to go, not to really know just how we're getting there. And if we're getting anywhere, we have too much to change, not to know the range possibility and changeability. Violence and crime is commonplace in these said times. No man walk free. Prophecy come closer to fulfillment in these dread times. Why should this be? And as we fight one another for the power and the glory, Jah kingdom goes to waste, and every drop of blood we taste, I feel we won this grace, yeah. I feel we won this grace. Me no care who I do it, just say that no right.
I'll go look at it, all right?
And as we fight one another for the power and the glory. And as we fight one another for the power and the glory, the kingdom goes to waste. We the people want to know just where we're going. Right now we hands are tied behind the back, while certain people if and but in. Where do we stand? We have too far to go, not to really know just how we're getting there. And if we're getting anywhere, we have too much to change, not to know the range of possibility and changeability. Violence and crime is commonplace in these said times.
Thank you all for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Japhet Virus YouTube channel. Until tomorrow at 11 o'clock to 12, join me back here tomorrow. I will be speaking more about the ticket amnesty. May God bless you. May God continue to bless Jamaica land we love. Have a good night.